Now to breaking news. Today, the House will vote on whether to expel embattled Long Island Republican George Santos. It follows a stinging Ethics Committee report which accuses Santos of stealing from campaign donors. But do his critics in Congress have enough votes to pull it off? Let's go now to CBS 2's Zinnia Maldonado in the newsroom. Zinnia.
Well, Cindy, set to take place in just a few minutes, a conference down in D.C. being held by Democratic Representative Dan Goldman. Now, he's calling on Republicans this morning to stand with the constituents of New York's 3rd Congressional District and expel George Santos from Congress. Now, Goldman, along with Congressman Robert Garcia, first filed a complaint with the House Ethics Committee for an investigation into Santos in January. The investigation's final report concluded Santos defrauded his donors, filed false FEC reports, and broke the law in order to win his election last November. This morning in D.C., Santos giving a brief comment ahead of today's vote on how he plans to move forward.
I'm going to have a long road ahead of me of trying to make wrongs right, and I look forward to doing that. I think I'm 35 years old. I have a lot of life left to live, and I can't live off the shadows of mistakes I made. And, you know, if I could do it different, I would have definitely separated myself from some people, would have not gotten involved with certain people. But, you know, this is part of, I guess, God's plan.
Calls first began last year for Santos to resign after constituents learned he fabricated his life story, including his education history and lying about being Jewish. He's also facing 23 federal fraud and conspiracy charges related to his campaign finances, charges he has pled not guilty to. Now, for today's vote to expel the 35-year-old, the House will need a 2/3 majority, and whether they get it or not, Santos insists he's not resigning. From the newsroom, Zinnia Maldonado, CBS 2 News. Cindy.
Zinnia, thank you. So if the House actually votes to expel George Santos, here's what we can expect to happen next. It would trigger a special election to replace Santos in New York's 3rd Congressional District. Governor Hochul would have 10 days to set the date for the special election, which would then be held about 6 weeks later. Democrats and Republicans would each pick a candidate to go head-to-head in what's expected to be a hotly contested election with national implications.